Hello, Karen Gosling here. This week on Emotion Matters TV, I'm talking about caring for the aged, and specifically about getting older. Not you necessarily, but your parents. I've worked for several years as a social worker exclusively in the area of aged care, and so I'm happy to share this knowledge of resources and help you reduce the anxiety that change inevitably brings. Did you know that more than ever before in history, this generation of 50 and 60-year-olds, the baby boomers, are caring for their ageing parents? Why is this, you may well ask? Well, it's because of the advancement of medical science and technology and advancements in surgery. People are living longer. In other words, they're growing older. When I was a child, an older person having a fall and breaking a hip heralded the beginning of their end. But these days, people in their 80s are receiving new hips and knees, doing well in rehabilitation and returning home. A few years later, it may be their other hip or their other knee that gets replaced. At the same time, this generation of 50 and 60-year-olds are more likely to either be helping out their own children by babysitting grandchildren, so as to ease the hefty cost of childcare, as well as deriving pleasure from the relationship that develops, or they might still be working themselves as they cannot afford to retire. This is why this age group, instead of being baby boomers, is now called the sandwich generation. They're the ones caught in between caring for their parents, worrying about their children, and caring for their grandchildren. These baby boomers have a lot going on, and they're not all in a financially, physically, or emotionally good position themselves. So when the expectation of caring for a parent or both parents is added into the mix, there can be a huge amount of stress within all those affected relationships. Counselling then can assist people to explore their feelings of stress, loss and grief, their guilt, unmet expectations, or relationship difficulties in all those directions. Often decisions have to be made about the future, from legal documentation such as enduring power of attorney and wills, or an advanced health directive, discussions about organ donation, body bequests, funeral arrangements, do we buy a funeral insurance or a funeral plan, as well as health and future care decisions, whether that be surgery or chemotherapy, what types of medication, or perhaps even placement into a residential aged care facility. It's really quite overwhelming. I've worked for several years as a social worker within the area of aged care, providing information and guidance to the elderly and their families through the maze of options and care services that are available for the home and sort of all the different types of funding. So I'm happy to share this knowledge of resources and help you reduce the anxiety that this change and new roles inevitably brings. Take a moment to browse through the counselling issues on my website at karengosling.com. If you feel that you would benefit from emotional health counselling and education, I can assist you with either a face-to-face counselling session or a telephone or Skype counselling session. These days, with our wonderful technologies, you can have a session without even leaving the comfort of your own home, or you may not even be living in the same city as me. We just need to work out, according to our time differences, what the best time is for us to perhaps talk on Skype. I live on the Gold Coast in Australia, and I'm currently counselling people by Skype as far away from Australia as the UK, Laos, Singapore, North America, Hawaii, Monaco. So I'm sure that we can work out a time that would suit us both to talk. Go to my website at karengosling.com to find out more about me and my counselling fees, and then fill in the contact page to make an appointment. I'd feel privileged to be able to help you, and I look forward to your call.